6,000 patents hidden by the government. U.S. Invention Secrecy Act. Welcome to the Lambert Files. My name is Kurt. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, like, share. If you're into this kind of weird stuff, I know one thing. I do not trust the government. So let's hop right into this, guys. I think this is going to be a good one. So I hope you guys enjoy.
Water has always been considered a precious commodity, but Stan Meyer's invention may make it even more valuable. He has developed what's called a water fuel cell. It has taken the place of his old gas tank. The water fuel cell breaks down water molecules into oxygen and hydrogen. The hydrogen is used to run his dune buggy.
I don't care if you use rainwater, well water, city water, ocean water. If you don't have any fresh water, go ahead and use snow. If you don't have any snow available to you, then use salt water because there's no adverse effect to the fuel cell.
Meyer started working on...
That's absolutely incredible to use snow. I heard of invention with water, but it had to be purified water, which is really hard to do. But wow.
This project 4 years ago. He's not a scientist. He isn't even a chemist. In fact, he never graduated from college. Myers was determined, he says, to design something to protect this country from oil embargoes. The Pentagon flew a lieutenant colonel in last week to look at Myers' invention. There's talk of possibly using it in the Star Wars defense program and to run army tanks. Myers is currently perfecting a water fuel cell for cars. It will cost about $1,500. He says it won't need any maintenance and you won't have to replace it.
According to the Columbus Dispatch, Meyer died on March 20th, 1998, claiming he had been poisoned by two Belgian investors. The coroner traced the cause of death to an aneurysm.
In 1998, Stanley Meyer ran out of a restaurant, clutching his throat, gasping the words, "They poisoned me." Days earlier, he filed patents for his car that could run entirely on water. He died on the spot. His invention disappeared. His patents were contested. His death was officially ruled as natural causes. But Stanley Meyer wasn't unique. The truth is, there's a federal law still in place today that lets the U.S. government classify, bury, or block any invention they consider a threat. And they've done it over 6,000 times.
If that does not make your spider sense tingle, then you're numb. You're numb.
It's called the Invention Secrecy Act, and it just might be the most powerful tool you've never heard of to kill the future before it even starts. So if someone invented a way to power your home for free, do you think you would even hear about it? And who gets to decide what counts as a threat to national security or a threat to the billion-dollar industry? Is it really about protecting the public, or is it about protecting control? Let's try and find out.
Hello, I'm Mike Droberg, Marine Corps veteran and filmmaker, and we will try to answer these questions on today's episode of Forgotten History.
Forgotten history.
In 1951, at the height of Cold War paranoia, the U.S. passed a law that gave the government sweeping control over private innovation. It was called the Invention Secrecy Act, and it gave federal agencies the power to shut down patents in the name of national security. But this wasn't new. The idea began in World War II, when U.S. officials feared that inventors, especially immigrants, might accidentally help the enemy by publishing breakthrough ideas. So they created an emergency system to block patents that were too sensitive.
I never heard of this, the Invention Secrecy Act. So if you guys have heard of this, leave a comment and tell me more about it, because I have never heard of anything like that.
That emergency system never went away. In 1951, Congress made it permanent. The Invention Secrecy Act allowed the Pentagon, the NSA, the CIA, and other agencies to review thousands of patent applications every year and slap secrecy orders on anything they didn't like.
Wow.
And here's the kicker. The inventor isn't allowed to talk about it, not even to a lawyer. A gag order is baked into the law. So what kind of inventions get buried?
A gag order is literally baked into the law. That's insane.
Energy breakthroughs, surveillance-resistant tech, military-level communications. and anything that might threaten the status quo. The moment an American files a patent, it doesn't go straight to the public. It first passes through something called the Patent Security Category Review List, a classified filter used by multiple government agencies to decide if your invention is too dangerous to be released. And dangerous doesn't just mean weapons. Every year, the Department of Defense, the NSA, the Department of Energy, and even NASA review thousands of applications. If any one of them flags a patent as a national security risk, a secrecy order is issued. And just like that, your idea vanishes from the public record. You can't
Doesn't the government work for us? Like,
manufacture it, you can't talk about it, you can't sell it, you can't even challenge it in court because the order itself is classified. The government doesn't have to tell you what part of your invention is sensitive or if they even plan on using it themselves. Some of these secrecy orders expire, many don't. Some have been in place for decades, and no one knows exactly how many breakthroughs have been buried forever, because the people deciding what's a threat are the same ones who benefit from controlling the threat, and innovation dies quietly in the dark. So let's examine some case studies. Nikola Tesla was the kind of inventor who doesn't come around twice.
the OG.
Born in 1856 in what's now Croatia, he came to America with a vision of the future and a work ethic that bordered on obsession. He briefly worked for Thomas Edison, helping to improve direct current generators. But Tesla had a better idea, alternating current, or AC. It was more efficient, more scalable, and a direct threat to Edison's empire. What followed was the War of the Currents, a corporate slugfest, complete with propaganda, public stunts, and dirty tricks. Edison even electrocuted animals in public just to make AC look dangerous. But Tesla...
Holy shnikes. He electrocuted animals in public to show that Tesla's stuff was dangerous and not good when it was.
Tesla won the war. His AC systems became the global standard. But while his technology succeeded, Tesla himself didn't. He sold the rights to his AC patents to George Westinghouse for a lump sum and later tore up his royalty contract, a decision that may have cost him hundreds of millions of dollars. He wasn't thinking about money, he was thinking about the future. That future included wireless energy transmitted through the air from giant towers, free for the world to use. Tesla began building the Wardenclyffe Tower, a massive transmitter designed to beam power across the continents. But his financer, J.P. Morgan, pulled out when he realized there was no way to meter it, no way to turn it into profit. From there, Tesla's decline was rapid. Tesla's other proposed inventions included earthquake machines, death rays, weather control devices, and weapons that could vaporize armies. The press painted him as unstable. Investors stayed away, and his most advanced work was never fully published, patented, or protected.
The damn government, dude. The government, man.
By the 1930s, Tesla was living alone in a New York hotel, feeding pigeons and scribbling down theories no one would fund. On January 7th, 1943, he died in his room, broke, in debt, and largely forgotten.
Insanity.
Within hours, the FBI seized his notebooks, papers, and equipment. Much of it was classified under national security. But not all of Tesla's materials were accounted for. Some vanished entirely. And to this day, parts of his research remain classified. Tesla dreamed of a world with free energy, endless innovation, and power in the hands of the people. Instead, he died in silence while his inventions were taken, buried, or forgotten. Another case study involves Thomas Townsend Brown. He wasn't a household name, but he should have been. In the 1920s, while still a teenager, Brown discovered that certain high-voltage capacitors seemed to generate thrust, as if electricity could reduce gravity. He called it the Byfield-Brown effect, and he believed it could be harnessed to build anti-gravity propulsion systems. He wasn't
Anti-gravity, baby.
talking about science fiction. He built real devices, discs that floated and tilted and moved without any visible means of lift. These were called lifters, and they defied every conventional rule.
I've never heard of this guy. Brown, I've never even heard of him.
Rule of propulsion. Brown demonstrated his work publicly. He filed patents. He even served in the Navy, where his research was folded into classified programs. That's when everything changed. Suddenly, the trail goes cold. His patents were quietly absorbed. His research disappeared from the public eye. Brown was never officially discredited, but he was never heard from in the mainstream again. Every promising
Probably threatened him.
development seemed to end in silence. Some believe his work was rolled into black budget military programs, the kind that don't appear on paper and don't answer to Congress. Others say the technology was too dangerous, too destabilizing to the industries and the power structures that control global defense and aerospace. Because if gravity could be manipulated with electricity, it would change everything. How we travel, how we build, even how wars are fought. Brown died in 1985. Not disgraced, but ignored.
Wow.
But here's what's telling. Many of his patents match the criteria for secrecy orders. High voltage propulsion, novel aerospace systems, potential military impact. The kind of things the US government doesn't just ignore, they bury. And if Townsend Brown really cracked gravity, they buried it deep. The final case study occurred in the 1960s.
That does not give me a good feeling. You know, when you hear something like that, that's...
60s with Hungarian-born inventor Joseph Papp, who claimed he had built an engine that defied everything we know about physics. His machine didn't burn fuel. It didn't use combustion in the traditional sense. Instead, it ran on noble gases like helium, neon, and xenon.
What?
These inert gases were sealed inside a closed system, and when activated by an electric spark, they expanded with massive force, creating energy without pollution, without refueling, and without moving parts wearing down. Papp said it was the engine of the future, zero emissions, infinite potential, and he had working prototypes to prove it. But when he demonstrated the engine in front of a panel of scientists, including Nobel Prize-winning physicist Richard Feynman, things went wrong. During the test, the engine exploded. One man was killed, and several others were injured.
Jesus.
Feynman, a skeptic from the start, accused Papp of fraud. Papp blamed sabotage. A bitter legal battle followed, and the mainstream scientific community dismissed him entirely. But after his death, his lab was stripped. His working engines vanished. His patents remain on file, but no one has ever been able to build a functioning replica, not because it's been proven fake, but because the full process was never publicly disclosed. Some
Are you kidding me? Well, just one after the next.
believe the tech was nonsense. Others believe it was confiscated, possibly through a sealed secrecy order or absorbed by agencies that saw its potential to disrupt the global energy economy. Because if Joseph Papp's engine really worked, it would make oil, coal, and gas completely obsolete. And in a world built on energy control, that kind of invention doesn't just disappear on its own. These three cases weren't isolated stories. They're just a few examples of a much bigger pattern. Tesla wanted to give the world free energy. Brown may have discovered gravity control, and Papp claimed to build a self-sustaining engine. All three were discredited, disappeared, or buried. And none of their inventions ever reached the public. The Invention Secrecy Act of 1951 is still active today.
Wow.
As of now, over 6,000 patent applications are under secrecy orders. That's 6,000 ideas the public will never see.
Wow.
6,000 potential breakthroughs you'll never benefit from. You'll never know what could have changed your life, because it was erased before it ever had a chance. The cure for cancer, free energy, gravity manipulation, clean propulsion, it might have already been invented. You just weren't allowed to see it. Because in America, you can dream, you can build, you can even change the world, but only if your government and its corporate partners decide your invention is worth sharing. And if they don't, you vanish. Your patents disappear, and history forgets your name. So here's the real question. What else have they buried? Let us know of any other patents buried by the government in the comments below.
I don't know. This one hits deep. Yeah, that does not make me feel good. So if you guys would give a shout out, this is called Forgotten History. Check them out. Hit a like, and if you can, subscribe and like, follow, join the family. Many more to come. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, man. See you next time.